Hi everyone, I'm Soft Seaside and welcome to my first official video on my art YouTube channel. Woo! I want to take you with me on this journey to fulfill my dream of pursuing a career as an artist. I had a lot of dreams when I was a child. Becoming a caretaker, becoming a teacher, becoming a therapist, becoming an actor. But I always thought to myself I should not pursue a career as an artist. But here we are. So how did that happen? So how come that I want to pursue this dream now? Drawing was always my main passion, especially drawing my own stories. I was very inspired by anime and manga, and I loved to draw comics since I was in kindergarten. And I still have this passion for comics to this day. Everyone was very impressed by my skill, told me I should make this my job, but in my head, it was always, you can't do this as a job, you can't make money out of that, you're not good enough, you have to be successful. When I was a child, my family didn't have a lot of money and my parents worked very hard, so my siblings and I could get a good education. So we get a good job, don't have to face the same fate as them and work so hard. And I didn't want to disappoint them by becoming a starving artist. I was always told that I should never do my hobby as my main job, because it would suck the joy out of it. And I always thought I was not allowed to make art my career. So I studied something in the social field. People told me, "Oh, you're so nice, you should do something social." Yeah, I am nice. Or you could say, I'm a people pleaser. I was super interested in my classes, don't get me wrong. I really cared about the subjects. I cared about education, I care about equality, I care about self-improvement. But I always felt like this doesn't suit me. Everyone who studied with me was very extroverted, very social, did a ton of voluntary work. And while I'm very loud when I feel comfortable with other people like my friends or my family, I really am not extroverted. And while I know that introverted people like me are super important in that field too, I felt like I didn't fit in. But I was also afraid to start something new. I was afraid of failure. I was afraid of disappointing my parents. I always felt like I just did the things other people wanted me to do or what other people expected of me. But here's the thing, while my major was educational science, I had like a side class, I don't know what's called, a side major, and that was art. I love to show people how great being artistic is, how great it is to being creative and just let go. I really cared about that. So after I graduated my bachelor, I decided to do my master's in art education. And then depression hit me. No, I mean this seriously. When I was writing my bachelor, I got very, very bad with my mental health. I didn't attend any of my classes, I couldn't get out of bed, I ate very badly, and yeah. Then I moved back to my parents and went to therapy for 2 years. The decision to stop studying my master's was really hard for me. It was also really hard to tell my parents that I have depression, because I felt like I was a failure. But I think it was the best decision I ever made, because then I challenged all these hardships and all my problems that I ignored all my childhood. It's a bit ironic because I went to therapy when COVID happened, and I know it was a very hard time for everyone and also for me, but I have to say I could focus on myself and my relationships with my parents and my family, and my mental health got way better. My creativity was at its peak and I noticed art was the one thing that always came back to me. While talking to my therapist, I realized that I wanted to pursue this dream of becoming an artist. This dream my child me never tried to pursue because she felt like she was not allowed to do. So I decided to move out of my parents' house again, to get a new job that would financially support me for my dream and start focusing on my art career while I had this job. And that didn't went well. My job was really hard and I had a lot of responsibility and it really took a lot of energy out of my body. I had no energy left for creating any art or working on my comic, and I had a lot of mental breakdowns. I also had these breakdowns while I was working. I felt that I fell back into the state of depression, which I tried so hard to get out of for 2 years. I totally lost the focus on what I actually wanted to do in the first place, to focus on my art career. And then when I had my last mental breakdown, I decided to quit. I was always too afraid of quitting because my rent is really expensive and I felt like I was giving up again and that I should handle this better, especially after going to therapy. I also had the feeling that everyone told me that I should not quit my job if I haven't found anything else. But I couldn't find anything else because after work I didn't have the energy to look for something else. I know that people only cared for me and I'm normally also a very careful person. But I know that it would be okay if I quit my job. And I just wanted to have a bit of courage to do this step. And it may have been a very impulsive decision, but I feel like this is one of a few decisions that I made for myself. Important disclaimer at this point, I don't want to tell you that you should quit your job. I have to admit I'm very privileged in this situation because I live in Germany and here you can quit your job and get money when you're searching for a new job and you worked long enough. If you hit the right requirements, the state will still support you if all the paperwork doesn't kill you before. I also should mention that even if I can't pay rent, that I always had the possibility that I could go back to my parents' house. Obviously, this would be my last solution, but it was always possible and I'm very grateful for that. I don't want to tell you that you should quit your job, leave university, especially if you don't have a support system. But if you feel like you are trapped and that you're not happy with what you're doing right now, that it's okay to start over, that it's okay to do something else. You can always start something new, it's okay. So, this is my current situation right now. I quit my job, I try to focus more on my art, while I'm searching for another job because I have to pay rent. And I have to say, I was so happy and relieved when I quit that I cried tears of joy. Admittedly, I cry all the time, so it's nothing new. But I was really so glad that I did this final step. And since that, all my waking thoughts are about making art and starting my art career. Literally, I'm so obsessed. I've been watching videos about building an art business, building an art career, about art tubers. I bought print paper, sticker papier. I want to buy a button machine and I really have to learn to slow down a bit. And who knows, maybe I will stay on this path this time or I find something that I want to do more. I learned that it's okay to lose your way sometimes and that it's okay when your goals change. Maybe I will find a job that doesn't suck all my life energy out of me and help me financially support my art career. Or maybe I will find a job that I really like and art can stay being my passion in my free time. I will also go back to therapy, so that's good. So, now that we are finally done with the backstory, let me tell you why I wanted to make a YouTube channel. I did have a YouTube channel before where I uploaded one OC animatic in 2019 and 2 small animations. And I had so much fun editing that I really want to try doing more videos. I also watched a whole bunch of videos about creating your own art business, making an art YouTube channel. I got really inspired by a lot of art YouTubers, which you should check out. And I really love to express myself in multiple ways. And I really like to talk a lot and share my stories and my thoughts. So I thought, why not trying it out? I know that YouTube is a lot of work and I have a lot of respect for it. But I'm also very excited to make my own content and my own videos. And I hope that you will also enjoy them. So, what can you expect from this channel? I do want to try a lot of things out, for example speed paintings and challenges, but I also want to tell my stories and share my experiences. I'm also a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons, so you can expect content from my characters as well. And most importantly, I would love to take you behind the scenes of creating my webcomic, A See New Insights. Or let's say my reboot of my 12-year-old webcomic, A See New Insights, because I decided to restart the whole thing. I just want to experiment with all these ideas and see what suits this channel best. I just want to inspire people and entertain them and comfort people and share my art with them. But the main thing is, I just want to be kind to the little child that thought she could never achieve her dreams. I want to be kind and brave for this child that was always so scared, and I want to be the person she needed. So thank you so much for watching this and coming along during my journey of achieving my dreams. See you in the next video. Bye!